Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night. You are still chilling with Mr. Anonymous because things are happening in this country. So we cannot wait to talk about them. And if you don't like these topics, definitely wait for the topics that suit you. We are all about the society. What affects the society affects us. So greetings to everyone. If you are still here, if you are up, that's good. But if you're sleeping, you'll catch this in the morning. It's my show. It's off mic. I'm telling you, and I promise you, Emily doesn't know about this until she comes back, which she will tell you what she's been dealing with. It's not my position to say, but I can tell you she's definitely still with us. She's still in charge of this channel. I'm just a person who works under this channel. So it's greetings to everyone. Lindan Dube, I see you're the only one who has commented as yet. Let me do this. I thought I would not put the, what we call it, the chats, but because I'm alone. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about me and me and me and this channel. Right. So there are stories, but today I'm just going to deal with one story because yesterday it was a mixture of the story. If you didn't watch that video, go catch that video and please like the video right now. So I'm just going to go to the story of from Business Tech, where it says, the heading is just bold. It says, 19,000 South African teachers in deep trouble. Perhaps you should remove that South African teachers to KZN, because as you dive in whatever that is happening or is being said down there, you would realize that actually the finance minister, Enoch Godongwana, want that 19,000 teaching jobs in KZN could be lost due to budget constraint. If opposing parties squashes measures like VAT hike, and just highlight that the VAT hike, it is proposed to be what, 2% of whatever that it is now, you know, and we are dealing with this thing where this economy is like this. We are suffering, and we are told that if the parties keep on saying they want whatever that they want, I will tell you what they want, some of them, even from the president, allegedly. So opposing party squashes measures like the VAT hike. Godongwana wants to use the VAT increase to fill a 60 billion shortfall, and highlight it's a 60 billion shortfall in government finances, which is needed to cover key expenditure. This includes civil servant salary increase, infrastructure projects, school feeding programs, early childhood development, and extension of 350 social relief distress, which is called SRD grant, right? According to Godongwana, the SRD grant alone requires an additional 35.2 billion funding to extend until March 2026. The finance minister warned that thousands of jobs in essential services are at risk if the government can't find a way to increase revenues, adding to the realities South Africa faces. During the week, Godongwana highlighted challenges facing the government in funding essential services such as education, healthcare, as motivation for 2% point VAT increase. So, healthcare, education is the forefront for VAT 2% increase. Godongwana warned that due to budget predicament, as many as 19 teaching jobs could be lost in KZN. However, the National Professional Teachers Organization KwaZulu-Natal spokesperson, Verona Moodley, called the warning pressure tactics, although education system is still under strain. It is premature for him to say that this at this point. It's like he is pressuring society to accept the 2% point VAT hike. Otherwise, there will be a loss of jobs, 19,000 jobs in KZN alone, she said. Moodley called on the government to look at preventing wasteful expenditure and apply consequence management. The Democratic Alliance, DA, in KwaZulu-Natal has raised concern about potential job loss and accused Minister Godongwana of jeopardizing the province's education system. For the 2025-2026 financial year, the Department of Education received an allocation of 65.8 billion, which is only 4.5% increase from the previous year. DAMPL Fikile Mngadi stated that this increment is insufficient to cover rising costs. In response, the DA plans to introduce a new school evaluation authority bill to address the crisis. The Public Servant Association, PSA, in KwaZulu-Natal has strongly opposed the government plan to cut thousands of teaching jobs in the province. According to PSA, KwaZulu-Natal province manager, Mlungisi Ndlovu, this decision is reckless, given that the province has over 2.6 million learners and more than 90,000 educators. Ndlovu argues that the main issue is the government austerity measures, which have severely impacted education funding. In the past 3 financial years, the Department of Education has lost about 27 billion due to annual budget cuts of 6 billion, he said. These cuts have led to thousands of unfilled support positions, which between 4,000 and 6,000 office-based jobs remaining vacant. As a result, many schools are struggling and to maintain basic education. And adding to crisis, Ndlovu pointed out that KwaZulu-Natal about 6,000 schools and 86% of them are non-fee schools. If the government is unable to find them, this creates a crisis, and the national crisis needs an urgent attention, he said. The PSA has called for immediate dialogue with the education authorities. We have said to the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal and MEC of Education that they must engage with us. Most schools are already struggling, Ndlovu explained. He also highlighted that inequality in the system, the sad part of the most government leaders, particularly the politicians, send their children to expensive private schools. Ndlovu emphasized that education department requires over 2 billion just to sustain an operations with more than 50 billion already allocated to salaries. Most essential services are not being taken care of, he warned. The situation extends beyond salaries. Issues like school nutrition programs and infrastructure funding also need urgent attention. We have crisis, Ndlovu warned. We're sitting on the ticking time bomb where over 19,000 of our educators could lose their jobs. Now, this is the predicament that we are facing, guys. This is the predicament that we are facing. Fortunately, KZN is going to suffer. If you ask me, I would tell you because they voted otherwise. So everything that is going to be shooting is going to be shooting to their direction, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Well, let us look at these issues that we are currently facing and also look at them and look at what is currently happening. Currently, KZN, as far as matric results are concerned, we obtained number 2. Number 1 being Free State in terms of the pass rate. But yet, that is not enough. We are still going to, or we might lose 19,000 teachers. So here's my question. We have deputy ministers who are estimated to be earning something between 1.5 million a year to 2 million salary a year. Now, with that, if you do your maths properly, you are almost at an entry level. Teacher's salary would be 210 a year, so that would pay about 9 to 10 teachers a year, right? So we have deputies, 43 deputies. You times that by that 10, you get 387, right? That's your math. So from that 19,000, of those 19,000 teachers that could lose their job, then now we are down to 18,603, right? It's a good move, right? I believe it's a good move. Just right there. If you can just do away with the deputy ministers, that, in my own opinion, I don't understand what they are doing there. Why are they even there? You know, why are they even there? Are we amusing people just because they were with us when we were canvassing? Just at the expense of the society that voted for the so-called GNU, as we said. And I've never voted for it, but the rest of people, majority rules, right? So now we go further. I'm not even going to entertain the issue of VAT increase. It's crazy to think about VAT increase. It is already high. It is sitting on 15%. And if you touch VAT, you are touching poor citizens. Because definitely, for sure, on the list of the things why we need this to cover this shortfall, it's because the government, the people that are sitting there, they need increase also. What is not mentioned is that they need increase. So increasing VAT is not going to affect them. It's not going to affect them. Their increase is more than the VAT. Way more than, triple folds, if you ask me. More, in fact, more than that. So these people, they want increase with whatever that they are getting. I'm not even close to the salary, by the way, of them. I'm not even close. I'm not even there. Right? Now there's this SRD grant that now must be looked at, and it is purporting as what others call basic income, what others call social basic income, and that is taking 35.2 billion. 35.2 billion. These 300 that these people wake up and get and go buy whatever that they buy. It takes about 35.2 billion. And our president is said to be adamant that it should continue paving the way for what is called from other worlds, social grant, basic grant. Other people from other countries, such as your England, such as your many countries that are rich, they have such things. But this is not, it is not even close to be looked at as basic grant. It doesn't cater for basic grant, if you ask me. I have, at some point, done a bit of research on it. I think I have written something on it. When it comes to basic grant, this is not even close. This to me says we are just buying votes for people to vote for us, because this is, as we are pushing it, as if we succeed in pushing it, it is going to 2026. Now, that would allow us or allow people to vote for us. It's like this issue of T-shirts. It's like this issue of T-shirts. People wear T-shirts one day and then they go vote, take a decision that will affect them for 5 years. Now we are here. It's okay. So, if I was close to those who are taking decision, I will do away with this thing. It's not even benefiting us. It is not benefiting us because most of this, if you do your research properly, you'll find that it is spent on probably alcohol. That is not a basic need. That is a want. That is not a basic need. So if you cut that, you do away with that. He says, if you allow me to cut SRT grant, then there would be no need to increase. That's what Godongwana said. There will be no need for increase if this thing is scrapped. And probably I assume that there will be also no need for KZN to lose 19,000 teachers who are educated, who we invested money to. We did. Most of these teachers, they studied through the NSFAS. So after wasting that money, and you are saying now you want to retrench them. What kind of a country are we? What are we doing? Where are we going? So Ramaphosa is saying this SRD should be the basis of the basic grant, meaning we're paving a way for basic grant. We're thinking of a basic grant. But basic grant from those first world countries normally looks at people who have certain skills, who went to school and get those skills. So we're not talking about people who just decided to drop and not do anything and chill at home and then go and collect grant. As long as they are not receiving any income, then they can go and collect grant. You are creating laziness. If you think like that, you are creating laziness. Take people who have put an effort to going to school. People who have went to fine-tune their skills, people who are needed. And the basic grant should be an estimation of around 3,000. Because we're talking about someone who needs to go to interview. In fact, the basis of a basic grant is such that the person who's not working yet is able to go to any interview. That's what we are covering. We are saying, yes, we have taken you to school. Yes, you have studied. Thank you very much. But we are not going to stop there. We are going to be with you until you find a job. So now you are talking about basic grant. Now, the basis and the income where you are going to obtain this basic grant, where are you going to get that money? You are going to get that money from companies, not from poor citizens. No, you don't charge people who are meager income earners, people who are poor, people who are still trying to make it in life. You don't do that. You don't charge those people. No, you charge the companies because government is in a relationship with companies. They promise that they are going to be able to absorb skillful people in this country. So we allow them to use our resources. Those who are digging my gold, those who are, they said we will by all means take part in activities of this society in making this country better. So the best way of putting pressure on those companies is actually taking their income and giving it to someone who's not working, but very skillful. Someone they can absorb and pay properly, not through a wealth income being taxed. Do you understand? That's how I understand. At least that's how I was taught. Why is it scary to actually touch that part? Why is it difficult to go and say, we are going to charge you until you are able to absorb all our people that are skillful? Why is it difficult? Any private company that is benefiting from our people shall be able to give back to those people. No, Godongwana, no. But Bona, no. We are going to increase VAT. As we increase VAT, we are not going to increase the salary of, the grant of our grandfathers for and mothers. We're not going to do that, but VAT is going to be increased. Oh no, don't worry. They will tell you about, we're not going to impose that VAT on goods that are a necessity to our society. Which are those goods? Are you talking about Albany bread? Because I can tell you, rice will increase because everyone eats rice. Right? So you cannot tell me that, no, it's going to be a selective VAT. We are not going to charge. No. There are many ways of acquiring money. And mostly, in most successful countries, they look at companies. You know, I don't mind if you go and say, I'm going to increase sin tax. I wouldn't mind. That is not a need. It's a want. So if you want to exercise, if you want to practice such, then you must be willing to pay for it. I don't mind. But I have an issue when you are touching something that touches the whole society at large. And you are saying you are giving a solution by going back and giving kids who are giving birth at home, doing nothing, who are just making babies, and you are saying, I'm going to reward you. I'm going to take from someone who wakes up in the morning and go to work and reward you. So that when they come back from work, you haven't even cooked. You are drunk. No, it's a fact. It's a fact. How many people are being helped by this SRD grant? How many people are actually using it and making it? It's nothing. It's nothing. You are just affording young kids who are at home, who are doing nothing, a case of a beer. That's all you are doing. In fact, if you ask me, I would rather increase Boma Gogo's Saral, grant, than giving someone who has given birth, knowing exactly that they are not working. I know it's not going to be a popular opinion, but I would never pay someone for giving birth. I would never do that. You give birth, you go work. It's only fair. We are here working. We are counting kids. We are not just producing them. And I'm saying, I'm a firm believer that we should give birth and be many. But as long as you can afford your kids, it's okay. You can be Mselegu, you can be anyone. It's okay, it's fine. If you're going to give them a decent life. But just giving birth and waiting for a sarali, and you go there, you increase lines there by Shoprite and Boxer there. When we want to buy, you stop us from buying. We have now waste time while we are queuing with you there. You are queuing to take the money that we wake up in the morning and go to work, and we are charged tax, and then it's given to you for free just because you decided to not use a condom. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. There are people who are actively looking for the job. When you talk about labor, we are talking about people who are actively looking for a job. When we talk about unemployment, we are not talking about people who are actively looking for ways of sleeping and be able to receive money without any sweat. We are not talking about those people. We are talking about people who are actively looking for work so that they can do away with whatever 350 that they are getting or 410. I don't know. I'm saying this because where I come from, I've seen people enjoying this 350, and people who are receiving it, I can tell you for free from where I come from that sample, they are not looking for any job. Even if you tell them, hey, brah, can you clean this thing for me? I'll pay you this much. It's a hassle. It's a hassle to get those people to, because they know they are waiting for that 350. In fact, they even tell you, whatever money that you put, don't put it in my account because that 350 is not coming. So Sarah is not an issue. Those people are not ready to work, most of them. So you are rewarding them so that the next time they can vote for you. So we are suffering. We are campaigning for politicians. That's why we are suffering this much. You take our money that we work hard for. Should I even miss R1 on those tax collections, I'm in trouble. So let's talk about these things. Basic income should be in a form of a rivalry. It should be exclusive. It shouldn't be something that anyone enjoys. It should be exclusive. It should come from the sweats. You're an engineer that is not working. You are looking for a job. Oh, well, we will help you. We will charge those companies. We will charge Botinel. We will charge all these companies. And we will take that money and give it to you. And in fact, we won't just give you 500. We will give you close to 3,000 to 4,000 until they decide to hire you. The more they hire you, the lesser we charge them. That's how tax works, last time I checked. Because as much as if they can absorb all these skillful people, then there will be no need for such tax. They can enjoy their dividends. Basic income should never be sourced from us. We shouldn't suffer because there is a sister of mine at home or a brother of mine at home who doesn't want to work. Even after you have tried to assist them, because the painful thing about these things, we go to school, they decide whatever that they decide. It's okay, we say, okay, problems, it's fine. I will try to assist my sister or my brother. You go acquire licenses for them. You say, hey, chief, at least try to go and drive a taxi because you didn't want to go to school or you didn't have any skill. Go drive a taxi, go be a security. We are going to do something. I'm not undermining those positions. Actually, people who are in those positions are getting money. But accept that the only skill you need is to go and learn how to drive and get a PDP and go drive. There's nothing wrong with that. If you find it a viable way, you can fend for your family using it. In fact, they have a lot of money because they are always collecting a day. No, but these people, they are not even ready to do that. They will tell you, I don't see myself doing that. In your face. And government comes and say, give them social, give them SRG. These are our people. That's what we zabalazat for. We zabalazat so that we can create lazy society. And boy, oh boy, they are not disappointing. They are doing exactly that. We are eating the crumbs. We are suffering. You can't even, you try to create something, you should look at the nitty-gritties that you have to go through as a person who comes from a disadvantaged background. If you try to create extra income, government is here to tax you. For what? You go to hospital, you don't have medical aid, you go to hospital. We all know what is happening in these public hospitals. We all know. And the issue of healthcare is even worse. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this. The countries that we have decided to say, hey, people, this is Africa, everyone come in, we also should be collecting from them. We have said that long time ago. There aren't no free lunches. And that's what, when I studied Economics 101, that's what it says. There aren't no free lunches here. So if you're going to budget a couple of billions from South Africans, you wrote a constitutional that says if you are in South Africa, you deserve, whether you are South African, whether you are a non-South African, you deserve to be treated as South Africans. Well, did you even think, this is how we're going to cater for that shortfall? Here is we have a 60 billion shortfall. 60 billion shortfall. No, you still want to increase the salaries of those deputy ministers and ministers so that they are covered for any issues. If you increase petrol, they are covered. Because it's not only, we are not only talking about the salary here. As a deputy minister, you also have the privilege of protection and whatnot. Those cars that are coming, it's expense. So even the amount that I gave here it's not even closer to how much we spend on these people. And what for? Why do we need deputy ministers? Because we wanted to create a GNU that is healthy, that includes everyone. Everyone benefits, house our tax money. Is that what we did this for? It's demotivating to work in South Africa. It is demotivating because you wake up, you go to interview. From going to school, hot or cold day, you went to school because you wanted to change your life. And after that, you decided to go to interviews. You wrote your psychometric test. God knows how many. These companies, they don't play around. More especially if you are like us. After that whole thing that you go through psychologically, they tell you, we have hired you. You are going to get 50,000. Government comes and say, here we go. Here we go. Don't worry. We are there with 30%, 33, 35 that you should give to us. To do what? Oh, we want to take that money and give it to hospitals. Okay. We want to take that money and give it to teachers that taught you. Okay, I understand that. I mean, at least they went to school. They acquired skills. They did something. Okay? But the hospital part, I've been in a public hospital in Joburg. I've seen many non-South Africans more than I've seen South Africans. And I'm not afraid of saying that. I've seen it. What about those? Did you take something from them? Did you? Or you're just taking from me because Mina Vele, there's nothing we can do. We have to abide. What about those? Did you go to their president and say, their country, and say, hey, I've got 10,000 people who are from Kenya. Give me this much. Make it fair. Make it fair. At least that's what's not to happen if you go to Europe and you come from Africa. They've got no ties. Yes, we assisted each other from there and there. It's okay. I mean, there are countries at some point who were South Africa. We assisted each other. And I love that. But it can be that we are the only people. That's what frustrates us. Because it's like you're saying, I don't care about South Africans. I don't. Because I'm going to take anything that they are trying. You get your salary. It finishes in your hand. Just before you even realize, you need to pay for, if you have a kid, you need to pay for that kid in a private school, because you cannot even take that kid to public schools, because those schools also have been infiltrated. There's huge amount of kids there. There is no attention given to a kid. So if you make it like us, we made it, but we made it because maybe we were lucky. Compared to a certain Saint what school that has 10, 15 kids in a class, where a teacher knows, each parent knows. Our parents cannot even go attend those meetings that happen at school. We just made it by God's grace. One class can have 50 people. One class. More than 50. So we don't take our kids to private schools because we have money. No. We take them there because we want them to have this special attention. Because I know many people that did not make it, but they were smart. It's just that they needed special attention. They needed something serious. Someone who was going to be more than a teacher. There is your psychologist, there is everything. Public school, there's no such thing. You go to school, whatever happens, happens. You go back home. You can't even tell your parents, by the way, last time I checked. If there's someone who's bullying you, can't even tell your parents. You need to wake up and go back to school and do the same thing until you make it. And hope that they will probably fail and you'll be able to proceed and leave them behind as they bully you, if you don't have the stamina to stand up for them, against them. So I never understand how we are taught something in school. We are told that there is economics and that this is how a country functions in a capitalist economy, in a mixed economy that we currently are enjoying in South Africa. This is how things are supposed to be done. It seems as if we are in a capitalist country more than a mixed economy, where the emphasis is put and there is this red tape that protects those that are extorting our resources. And the funny thing is, we wake up and still go and vote for such and say, yeah. You go to people's pages, you find them talking about conference, hey, comrade, you are key, hey, whatnot. You realize we are a lost country. We have kids who are aspiring to be politicians so that they can go and fatten their pocket also. If there's such a thing as fatten. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. I didn't mean to talk this much, but we need to talk about these things. The VAT is a no-go area. Is a no-go area. Don't even start about that. In fact, you have to be reducing it. It doesn't make sense. So you've got to cut that SRD grant and even if it falls under SRD now, cut that thing. You can't pay people for giving. I don't understand for the life of me. Why would I pay you for making kids? My mother was not paid for making kids. Why should young kids be paid for making kids? So it doesn't make sense. You can take this and say, "Hey, this one is." Hey, I'm from the serious villages where electricity got in. I was at high school. I know how it feels to light with a candle. Oh well, I think everyone knows it now because there has been load shedding. It has been mooring us left and right. But what I'm trying to say is that I know how to watch black and white television and listening to soccer on a radio. You know, at some point I grew up aspiring to be one of those who were commentating. I know that. But the fact is, we are not going anywhere as a country. We have resources. We are wasting them. We are wasting them. As long as crime is a taboo in this country, as long as it is okay to have money anyhow, and no one can ask you a question, as long as it's fine, it's okay, we've got your back, comrade. As long as we still think like that, our kids will suffer the same fate that we are suffering. Our kids will suffer, it may be even worse. Because this bill, I'm going to be going, this bill of land expropriation that people are celebrating, I'm trying to understand at what angle should I be looking at. Because for me, this bill is actually gunning for lately that we have. That land that the little land that we have. Because I can tell you now, that bill is not gunning for those farmers that are making noise, that have been called by Donald Trump in America. No, that bill is not gunning for those. And if you thought at some point, even an inch, that it was gunning for that, then you need to go reevaluate yourself. I just read something saying that the buildings in Johannesburg who are abandoned, not abandoned, maybe some of them, who were taken over by criminals, should be expropriated. and I can tell you, those buildings that will be expropriated are not the ones that are owned by huge capital. It will be those ones that are owned by those who cannot fight. So if you think that these things of land expropriation, it actually entails that we are going to a right direction, we are taking the land back from the people that took it from us, no, forget. But it's a story for another day. Think about it. Just think about it and look at the decisions that are taken now. Are they saying that we are looking to address whatever that happened in the past? No. In fact, the VAT increase tells you where the minds of the politicians are at. It is not addressing the inequalities, but it is creating them. I mean, in your right mind, you wake up in the morning as a minister of finance, you say, I'm going to increase VAT. Then you go to your party lines, are saying, your party goals, we are saying, we are going to address inequalities. Just go and throw that thing away. Because you are not actually applying anything that you said you will do. Go and throw that thing away. You are talking about inequalities day in, day out when you want people to vote for you. When it's time to address them, this was the right time. When last have you heard people talking about wealthy income, business income tax? When last? When was that? Under which president? And you are saying, I'm addressing inequalities. No, you are not. You are making sure that you are keeping those who are poor, very poor, and those who are rich, very rich. That's what you are. You are creating two extremists. And we should believe you every day you come to sing. Hosanna, 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 and give us t-shirts. Hallelujah. And we are sold. I feel that one day we should actually look at this thing of voting. Now I hear that a new system might be proposed, which looks or does things as what is currently happening at the voting system of America. And then now there's an issue of people saying that people from Obama Koko and whatnot, they are not. Perhaps we should have, as much as we are saying voting, in my opinion, should be limited to people who are still contributing to that economy. It should be limited to that. You shouldn't be worrying about going with my envelopes, going home. Once they have run their race, they are okay, leave them. Let us take the decisions that will affect us. But it will be difficult to do that because you know the outcome. So you still need Bomakoko. I hear you. So I don't know if you guys are going to say anything. That's what I heard today. Why in KZN? 19,000 of our sisters, our brothers, whom when they graduated, we celebrated and said, you are saying for a grant, someone who's sitting at home, you would rather create unemployment for those who are skilled. I'm judging you. So you would rather appease people who do not have anything to do for people who had a purpose. I'm not saying all of those people who are receiving that mandate. There are people who are serious. There are people who are working hard to change their situation. And we cannot ignore that there are those who are happy to receive 400 if it's 400. Just happy because they don't want to do anything. They want to wake up, we buy something, we take it home, but now they take it, they misuse it. Masfige Makaya, I had a TV, I don't have any TV now. That person have decided to do something with it or even sell it. We have those. We have those who are comfortable. Just because I've got a brother who went to school who's working, they are comfortable. So, guys, if you want to call, you can call. I think I'm done. I'm loving this session now, where I can say whatever I want to say, as long as I don't offend or call people's name. So if you got anything to say, the WhatsApp I think is fixed. Yesterday I realized that there was something wrong with the phone. But if you have anything to say, please say it. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not understanding. I'm open for debates. Let's talk about these issues. They affect us. They do. They do. The tendencies of discouraging people that are doing something in our economy for people who are doing nothing, appeasing the masses. Appeasing the masses. So, if you have anything that you would like to share, please share it. But let me just call out the people that were here. Lindan Dube was the first one who came in, and followed by Mutseleng. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Then Rivak, Chihande, and then Snesbia, Simpiwe Yingwane, Musa Dlamini, Mzwake Zwane, Beltangwenya, Laura, our member, Yvonne Mdaga, Simpiwe, okay, I've mentioned you. Nesisa Sympathy Mbofu, John Mukhalane, Tembelan Kanye, Tsidi Anna Muhapi, our member, Pinkin Lovu, Skulile Manzini, Tini Nkosi, Sibongile Mlangeni, Lucky Ndlovu. The main problem in South Africa is on how the money is collected, is on how the money collected is spent. Yes, billions are lost in corruption. True. That is true. And we are always crying for accountability. I'm more concerned about collecting it back. In either way, you know, at some point you feel even if you collect it back, it will go to the wrong direction again. That's how I feel. And then Yvonne Mdaga. I think the government must first cut the number of the parliament members, more especially the old people who are just being there doing nothing. It's a good point. Exactly. Exactly. Mr. Anumas, you are taking words out of my mouth. Mina, I'm tired of supporting people who are just sitting at home doing nothing but waiting for 500 and 350. Yes, Lord. Exactly. See? So I'm not lying. There are people like that. And you are not alone. You are not alone. It's not only these grants. It's also called the free electricity and water while we pay levies for electricity. Yes. Because you know why? People go around promising. When you ask them, you are promising these people, this is the case. Like the issue of Soweto, for example. That was a promise that was made by, I think, if not Mandela, stand to be corrected. And now people are saying, you said you'll give us for free electricity. Where is it now? Where is it? Now you cannot blame them and fault those people. If you say you'll buy me a car, buy me a car. And then babes say, here in Europe as well, Mr. Anonymous, they get money just for giving birth and some end up having dozens of kids. Yes, you know why? One can attribute that to these agendas that are existing. Because Why on earth would you reward people from enjoying each other? Why? And abanjani laba bathi mabe enjoyanile kumele bathole grant, because I don't qualify for those grants. I don't. Nami phela ngiyafuna ukuthi angithole phela. My kid cannot get that grant. It's not fair. I can't even recoup some bit of a tax that you take from me. I can't. I'm forced. You go to work, you're forced to have medical aid. And obviously, you cannot have medical aid without your kids having medical aid. So that's an issue, that's a predicament that we are facing. I guess no one will call. But guys, you'll get used to this. I'll come like this. Now and then I'll come like this because these are issues that I just want to vent. And I do expect you guys to call. I know there are people who have different views. It's okay. Let us have these conversations. So, Gaivala Buffet, thank you very much for joining me, because no one is coming through and say, Mina, I have a different view, or even agree. Gaivala Njiganje, thank you.